You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello and welcome to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. It is Monday the 6th of May, and I don't know if anybody worked it out, but yesterday was my emergency podcast. I was absolutely shattered when I got back from the 3 flights I did yesterday. They were all hard work. There was some incidents on them which obviously I can't talk about, but yeah, they were not normal flights, or one of them certainly wasn't. So that was fun. So I literally got back to my hotel, slept, had something to eat, ironed my shirt for the next day, and then slept. But the good news is today is day 6 of 6. I've done my 6 days of short haul flying. To be honest with you, I really enjoyed it. There were some challenges, but it was a really good team that I worked with. Genuinely enjoyed it. So this is going to be the most diary-like entry of my chats, because I don't really have any, because I haven't done any writing the last few days. I haven't got anything specific to talk about. However, I will be returning to Twitch tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So if you do listen to this on the day it comes out, you will get me on Twitch on the 7th of May at 10 a.m. UK time. I won't convert that. Well, I suppose I can convert that. It's 3... it's not very good in the USA. It's 5 a.m. East Coast or 2 a.m. West Coast. So yeah, that's not ideal for my American viewers to watch. But I finally want to do a bit of work on, or continue a bit of work on chapter 25, because as I was writing and just editing it last night, I thought there's additional material I want to put in there. So I kind of want to show that Marianne, one of my characters, understands what they were put through. Marianne's my non-binary character. Oh, I could talk about that. Yeah, I'll talk about that. There we go. Making it up as I go along. So I have a character called Marianne in the book that I'm currently working on, Empress of the Trees. I mean, you'll have seen me talking. You'll have seen me talking about this if you've watched any of my live streams, because that character is a large part of what I'm doing at the moment, of the storyline that I'm actually writing at the moment, or editing at the moment. Now, Marianne was created as a character purely to get me used to thinking about, or I suppose to get me out of my comfort zone with pronouns. So the initial idea behind the character was that they were a trans woman, therefore I should use the pronoun she, but I found very, very quickly that actually it wasn't a challenge thinking of this character as she. So I thought, okay, that's fine. So let's change myself a bit more, and I changed the background of the character. This is before I'd defined the character. I literally couldn't change them now because they're a real person in my head, but this was at the formation stage, and I created this character and decided to make them non-binary. And the reason I wanted to make them non-binary is so I could get used to using they and them as pronouns. Now, weirdly, I had a discussion with this at someone at work today, and they were like, oh, you're either male or female, you're not this and you're not that. And I don't agree. I'm not a snowflake, or I'm sure some people would think I was, but I suppose my attitude to something is, if you can make someone feel better by, changing a word you use to describe them, why wouldn't you? Why? And that's exactly what Miriam Margolyes said when she was interviewed on Graham Norton about it. Anyway, so, oh God, I've got 4 minutes out of this now. Anyway, so the character was created. They were purely meant to be a background character. They were there. They weren't supposed to be a main character. They were there to fulfill a function within the story, and train me to normalise using they and them as pronouns. And unfortunately, Marianne just became so much more than that as a character. So they just form a friendship with one of my 2 ambassadors, Mackenzie, which came out of nowhere. It wasn't planned. It just, you hear this thing about characters doing things they're not meant to. Mackenzie and Marianne were not meant to have a friendship. They were just meant to be people that were in the same place at the same time. There wasn't a plan for any interaction, but a couple of things happened. Mackenzie has had a lot of trauma in he's only 20 years old, a lot of trauma in his life, and at 20 sometimes he wets the bed, and Marianne just basically made him feel not embarrassed about it. And sort of, their job is sort of housekeeper come technician come security, whatever they need to do. But they didn't make Mackenzie feel foolish about it. And that was never something I'd sort of planned. And they just became better and better friends throughout the story. So, one of the themes of the story now has become something that's a big topic of discussion at the moment in certain communities, that if a straight man is attracted to either a trans woman or a non-binary person that was born male, does that make them gay? Now, I don't know. It's really difficult to talk about, but my gut instinct is probably not. And that's certainly the point. That's certainly how I'm writing these characters. So, but because I want to make it reflect the real world, initially when Mackenzie realises that he's attracted to Marianne, he can't deal with it, and it's one of the reasons. And actually, it creates a really good situation. And I was trying to, I couldn't think of a way to create that situation, and just it's wonderful the way these characters just did that for me. So I needed Mackenzie to run away and leave the safe environment that the story is told in, and that suddenly became the reason why it happened. It wasn't planned. I kind of just thought that he felt out of place and didn't want to effectively be away from his family if and when the world ended, because that's what the story is about. And so the fact that also he was worried about his friendship and, I would say, attraction to Marianne and what that said about him was another reason why he runs away. Unfortunately from a story planning point of view, because it absolutely wasn't in the original plan, Marianne is now one of the key characters. I adore writing for them. They are probably, well, actually no, there's lots of characters I really like in this story. But yeah, they are a key part of what's happening. They're a key part of how it's all going to play out. And the character literally exists because I just wanted to get comfortable using pronouns that my 50-year-old binary brain wasn't used to using. There we go. Oh, well, there was a topic that I didn't expect I'd be talking about. I was just going to talk about very general stuff, but never mind. So that's me done for today. This is a little bit later than normal. That's because I worked until lunchtime today, and then I visited a friend. Then I got home and chilled. I've listened to some Doctor Who Big Finish on vinyl. They released a 9-part David Tennant mini-series called Dalek Universe on vinyl, and I own it on CD, but I really wanted to listen to it on vinyl, and it sounds superb. I've just listened to episode 1. Anyway, I don't need to talk about that. I've done what I came here to do today. I'll be back at some point tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Wright, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.